Hi, I'm Hugh Sullivan, cinematographer for Hugh Latta Productions here in downtown Decatur, and I recently veered out of the comfortable world of comedy that I've been living in for so long and tried my hand at making a short horror film. And that gave me the opportunity to use a lot of fun lighting techniques that you don't often get to use in comedies. So I thought it'd be fun to do a behind-the-scenes feature where I talk about some of the lighting and gear and techniques that I used, and more importantly, some of the challenges that I faced on the set and how we overcame them. As you'll see, most of the challenges I run into have to do with time constraints. When you're working with a bare bones crew and you need to get in and out of a location in a few hours, usually you're gonna have to cut some corners. So this is how I made a film that I'm pretty happy with while cutting as few corners as possible. So let's dive right in. Episode 1, The Apartment. My favorite shot of this entire film was this tracking shot. Pretty much everything went according to plan. I drew out a storyboard, knew the camera movement and blocking that I wanted, and planned my lighting from there. For this setup, I had a 350 Fresnel in the bedroom, a 300 daylight balanced CFL softbox in the kitchen, and a 650 Fresnel in the bathroom. The white balance on the camera was set for tungsten, so we got that nice blue color in the kitchen. I originally had that blue daylight balanced light in the bathroom, and Adam, my first AD, suggested the switch. It pays to have someone else on set paying attention to what's going on. I also had the light in the bedroom just kind of bouncing off the far wall to fill up the room a little bit, and it was really flat. And again, my first AD, Adam, pointed that out, so we flagged it off with the barn doors to shape it over the lamp to give the illusion that it was just an extension of that practical lamp bulb. One thing I would have changed is the bathroom light. I would have left that on when Adam exits. That way it would have given him a little accent in the back to help separate him from the background for his close-up when he's on the phone. Speaking of the bathroom, this shot was hard for me because I'm always trying to be mindful of the eyes and give them proper lighting, but this is a good example of an exception to the rule. It made more sense to underlight this scene with unflattering hard light source from above, since it adds darkness to the mood as well as the picture itself. We actually filmed this scene with that 300 watt softbox in the bathtub, and it was way too soft and bright with an even light that didn't match the feel of the rest of the apartment or the mood. So we went back and reshot, this time with a little LED boomed over on a C-stand. Heading back out to the hallway, this is the scene where Adam returns to find his apartment filled with an eerie glow and a mysterious box on the floor. The color cast and the spotlight on the box went according to plan. And this slider shot in the kitchen was exactly what I was hoping for, with the added bonus of an ice pick that just happened to be there, so I left it in the shot. But the one thing I wasn't very happy with was the lack of color contrast in this shot. In terms of lighting and tones, it's great, with plenty of light and dark, especially on his face. But with the exception of the small accent in the back from the stove light, the whole shot is pretty monochromatic. And I just really liked how there was a little bit of difference in color in the original shot of the apartment. I also had to redo this shot because the first time I got it, the light stand was in the frame. Oops. I'm gonna do a side note really quick and just say that when I'm doing filmmaking like this and it's not commercial and I'm just doing it for fun, it's usually a pretty bare bones effort, and I'm normally a one-man band for most of the planning. I've got a friend that helps write. He's usually my first assistant director, Adam Morris. But really, aside from the writing and some of the pre-planning, it's mostly on my shoulders. And so I've got to do all the set design and prop design and location scouting, securing the location, finding the actors, working around everyone's schedule, and then showing up that day and setting everything up. And so when I do have people who show up to the set and I'm able to delegate some of those jobs, it helps a ton. I mean, exponentially easier on the set, and the film looks that much better. So this stairwell is a prime example of that. When I went and did location scouting, I could tell that the little light bulb downstairs was casting a creepy shadow of the banister up on the upper wall, and I knew that if I had a bigger light down there, it would, help accent that and make it look even creepier and more contrast. So the day of the shoot, I actually just showed the storyboard to our grip, handed it off to him, and he went down there and made that happen. And it took him a little while to find a power supply and to work the right angle. And because it was such a long shoot that day, if I would have had to wait to set that up until I was finished shooting in the apartment and then go downstairs to that stairwell, I may have had to cut corners and just say, we'll be fine with just a little, maybe a gel on the wall and just leave it at that. So this was a good example of handing this off to somebody, letting them take care of it, and then I was able to do my thing filming inside while he was setting that up, and then we went outside and shot in the hallway. So this shot was a 650 watt light pointed up through the banister from the downstairs, and then we had another 650 watt with the orange gel to get that splash of light coming out of the apartment when he turns the corner. And the final location of the apartment was the bedroom. For the wide shots, the only light was that 350 watt pointed at the wall and the little practical lamp there. But when we moved in for the close-up, I added a kick from our little LED to help keep some definition on Adam's face when he sat up into the camera. Otherwise, that shot would have just been a big, boring black blob. So thanks for watching. I'm gonna put a link to the film in the description, as well as links to our Facebook, Vimeo, Instagram, Twitter, YouTube accounts. Show us some love over there, and check back for episode 2 next week, where we talk about lighting and cinematography over at the Lincoln Square Theater.